6 Sports presents the Dean Trailways 5th Quarter 30th Anniversary.
We're the Fowler Eagles, and this is the 30th year of the 5th quarter.
Well, shout out to Seth Armbrust-Maker for that warm welcome to not only the Dean Trailways 5th quarter, but week 3 of the high school football season. How we feeling in Michigan? It is a full moon. I'm Audrey Dahlgren.
That's a great point. I'm Nick Mansis. Yet again, this could be a week where we had 2 big games, but the matchup that we're going to be honing in on tonight is one between 2 unbeaten teams in the CMAC. Our Ian Kress was there in E. How was your time at the Beehive?
Well, hey guys, I came away stink-free, so it was a win for me, by the way. As for the Bees, they had a chance to start the season 3-0 for the first time since 1992.
Wow, yeah, first-year head coach Shane Lorenz has the team playing at high level, but tonight they were faced with a tough test against John Spicer's Fowler Eagles.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Bath was playing this game without 6 of its regular starters. 5 were out due to injury, and 1 was out due to an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty last week. So without his friends on the field, Michael Friend comes up with a tackle for loss on first down, and he's got that Cal Halliday swagger. No gloves, no tape, just straight business. However, Fowler would respond. After starting quarterback Jacob Hoffman went down in week 1, Hudson Schlack has been filling in at QB, and in the 4th quarter, he muscles his way into the end zone to put the Eagles up 28-zip. Then, with 5 minutes left in the game, John Ruiz is going to slice and dice his way through the Bath defense for another Fowler touchdown. The Eagles win big 35-0. Schlack had 94 yards rushing to go along with his 93 passing yards, and you better believe he fought for every one of those yards.
The whole reason I joined this sport in the first place is I love contact. I love putting my shoulder into people. It's just so much fun.
For having to play a backup quarterback, a kid like that, that's pretty special to have a kid like that to be able to put in there and get the job done.
First half we came out pretty slow, but we've got a lot of things to work on. Second half we went back, talked a little bit, and we decided to turn that switch on and came out and kicked butt.
Way to put it, elsewhere in the CMAC, Saranac was on the road taking on Perry, and not even 40 seconds into this game, the Ramblers were rumbling. Austin Poyer throws a dime to Reese Teal, and he can just jog in from there. Perry went up 7-0, and when it looked like we were in store for a high-scoring first half, the turnover bug attacked. This interception by Saranac's James Stevens was one of 6 turnovers between the 2 teams in the first half, and I'm not even counting the 4 turnovers on downs. The Redhawks eventually found a spark offensively with 3 minutes until halftime. Sophomore Chase Steffens takes it to the house for 6 as Saranac would roll away in the second half of this one and take down Perry 32-14.
Well, the CMAC isn't the only conference in town getting its league party started. Let the drama begin in the CAAC Red.
Ooh, and it's going to be especially good this year considering that Williamson, Hazlitt, and Mason all finished the 2021 campaign in a 3-way tie.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start with the Mason Bulldogs, who had their military appreciation night. Beautiful flyover for the 3rd year in a row. Big thanks to Forrest Page for sending us that video, because when we got there just before halftime, the packed Mason crowd was being treated to a show. The way the Bulldogs were playing tonight was tougher than Buster's mean scowl. With a minute before the break, Mason going to their main man Martell. A.J. Martell weaving through the middle of the Fowlerville defense and taking it in for a 20-yard touchdown. The junior running back finished with 107 yards and 3 touchdowns on just 12 carries. Then after Fowlerville fumbled, Mason's Kaysen Carswell wants to go to the air, finding the wide open Colin Page, who does the rest of the work for one of his 3 touchdowns. As the Bulldogs had a ball in this one, 55-20, the final odd. What went down over at Eastern?
Well, I'll tell you this, the hometown Quakers got off to a hot start against undefeated Williamston on the second play of the game. We're detailed here. Shantuan Trainer scampers 30 yards to help set up a 1st and goal for his squad, and they made sure to take advantage. Kyron McKnight barrels his way into the end zone. Eastern also went for 2 and got it done for an 8-0 lead. As for the Hornets fun, it all started in the second. Alex Petersburg to Zach Cribbs for the easy TD. Then Petersburg would hand it off to Joe Smith. He's a freshman, but the best comes before the half. 4th and goal for the Hornets. Petersburg slings it to Joey Mahaney for another score. Williamson gets the dub, improving to 3-0, 41-8 the final. All right, you can always count on the Hazlitt student section to get their guys feeling some type of way. And were they ever feeling hype against St. John's? First quarter, Isaac Pavona keeps it for himself and nearly makes it to the promised land. He's brought down on the 1-yard line, but that's A-OK because on the very next play, he puts it in the hands of Nakai Amakri. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, 7-0 Hazlitt. Then this added some spice to the Vikes night. Second quarter, Nakai's younger bro, Corey Amakri, has nothing but wide open space in front of him, and you don't want to give the freshie the opportunity because he'll take it to the house. A 76-yard touchdown, and guess how long it took him to get there?
How?
21 seconds. One of his 2 TDs tonight. Hazlitt rolls past St. John's 63-14 the final, racking up 425 yards of total offense in the process. How about that one, guys?
Yeah, the Amakri bros are something else, that's for sure. Well, it's time for us to take our first TV timeout, and just like the CAAC Red was some fun, the Blue had a trophy to give out tonight.
Oh yeah, the Jack was on the line in Grand Ledge, and if the trophy wasn't enough, wait till you see who presented it. And now in week 3, have the Lansing Catholic Cougs finally been able to put a notch in that win column, or was Charlotte way too much for them to handle? We've got that answer and more after the break.
The Dean Trailways 5th Quarter is sponsored by the U.S. Army. Find your career in the U.S. Army at GoArmy.com.
We all got a thing that gets us out of bed or keeps us out of it. The thing we live to do, that we do for nothing at all. But don't do it for nothing. Take it to where it means everything. If you were recently injured in a motor vehicle crash, you may now be colliding with the complicated new Michigan auto no-fault insurance law. Don't get hurt again. Get help dealing with these legal changes. Call the leaders in Michigan motor vehicle injury law. Call the Sinus Stramus Law Firm, serving injured people throughout Michigan for over 70 years. The Sinus Stramus Law Firm.
Inflation is crushing our family. Feeding my family an extra $70 a week.
Want to buy a new home? Good luck.
It costs too much for me and my family.
I can't believe Alyssa Slatkin voted for Joe Biden's trillions in government spending.
Leaders in Washington just don't get it.
Slatkin votes with Biden 100% of the time.
I'm voting for Tom Barrett.
I'm voting for Tom Barrett. I'm voting for Tom Barrett.
To lower prices.
I'm Tom Barrett, and I approve this message.
We're all born with the good in us. We're all in need of love. Dreams get torn, but we stand up, making a change that is calling us. What you gonna do? Raise up like us. Beautiful people, boys and girls, we're all made equal. So clap your hands, get up and dance. Beautiful world, beautiful people.
Before the fall, before the new routine, before the exam, the cast, the all clear, and the expiration date, you have questions. And when you're looking for answers, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan is ready to help.
Welcome back to the Dean Trailways 5th Quarter. Grand Ledge and Holt is one of the most historic rivalries here in mid-Michigan, and tonight the two met for the 50th consecutive season, and there was more than just bragging rights on the line.
Oh yeah, last year the traveling trophy, the Jack, was introduced to the rivalry in honor of the late Jack Rarick, and Holt was hoping to keep it in its possession. Check out the size of that student section from Grand Ledge, but Holt wasn't going to let that trophy go so easy now. Let's set the scene here. Holt leads 8-0 in the third. First and goal for the Comets, and Mason Stalker going to get it done. The Rams are still in front, though, 8-6. Moving now to the fourth, Holt on the 2, and Bryce Cornelius is going to find his way into the end zone. The 2-point conversion is no good. Holt will go up 14-6. Now the Rams came to play on both sides of the ball with time running out. Grand Ledge looking down the field for a big gain, and that ball will find the hands of Joseph Mitchell to seal the deal for a second year. Holt is taking home the Jack. They top Grand Ledge 14-6 the final. And to present the Rams with the winning trophy was the wife and daughter of Jack Rarick. Sue, can you even describe what this night means to you and Abby?
Everything. It was his life. I mean, the family was his life, but football was his life. It's what he loved to do. He breathed it, he worked it, he did it for years and years, and it was what gave him greatest pleasure. And his biggest fear was not to be remembered, and this shows you that he will definitely always be remembered.
It feels amazing. You know, being so close to Jack and making this trophy, I don't think there's been a day where I haven't had it around me somewhere, and it means a lot because of what it's about. So being able to keep it again is very special.
Rams, let's head over to Waverly, where Coach D.A. Jones and his boys were looking to become 3-0 for the first time in 20 years. Opening play of the second half, Warriors up 15. Martavion Robinson making guys miss. A big return that would set Waverly in Everett territory. And then Ronnie Spencer on the quarterback keeper does the rest. He hits the edge and finds the end zone, extending the Warriors' lead. And how about another one for good measure? Jai Wood gets the handoff and plows into the end zone. Waverly stays hot to start the season, taking down Everett 39-14, and Coach Jones doesn't accept anything less.
I'm not a braggart by all means, but you know, excellence is the standard. You know, I think that in my career as a player and as a coach, I've never been a part of a losing program, and so you know, it's a standard of excellence, man. You know, regardless of how you slice it, you know, if those men give you 100% effort on the football field, anything can happen.
Love it. Well, Okemiss's F.A. Scott Amakpour had to host his former boss and coach Bill Faracco tonight, and the Trojans wasted no time getting to work. Kanye Jackson getting the handoff, and no one is bringing down the senior running back. He finds the end zone for the Trojans. EL already up big at this point. Dalen Adams rolling out and finds Charlie Barker across the middle, breaking tackles before he is finally brought down just short of the goal line. Then it's Jackson once again breaking more tackles. Man, no one can bring him down before cutting across the field and into the end zone for yet another touchdown. Trojans win big on the road, 77-0, the final.
Go ahead.
Well, now that we are all caught up, I should say, in the red and blue, it's time to show some love to our squads in the suitable AC white.
Yeah, Jim Baker's Lansing Catholic Cougars are shockingly still in search of their first win of the year. So odd, would tonight be the night that they can make it happen?
Well, they were well on their way at halftime. The Cougs were up 13-0 over Charlotte, and they are some multi-talented men. Look at sophomore Chris Sims getting down on the trumpet. This game turned into, a tale of two halves, because in the second half, the Orioles could not stay out of the end zone. Ben Buzzard with the give and go to Devin Eaton. That's a 1-yard TD, and Mike Sparks is like, why not go for two? This time, Buzzard buzzing himself. Orioles within 5, and the fourth quarter was like deja vu. Buzzard is sneaky with the QB keepy you're going to see here from 1 yard out. So why not run it back for two again, right? That's exactly what would happen. Charlotte puts up 16 unanswered points to take down Lansing Catholic to win it 16-3.
Well, over in Eaton Rapids, the student section was feeling colorful. All that excitement coming through your screen. The Greyhounds looking for their first win of the season, and they were fired up to be hosting a tough Portland squad. Early and often, the Raiders went to their bread and butter with tough runs up the middle as fullback Branson Goodman punches it up for 5 yards. 7-0 Portland. Then on the next possession, they go to the speedy Drew Miller. He's speedy. Gone. 42-yard trip to the promised land. Ain't nobody gonna catch him. And then the Portland defense just started dominating. This pass is tipped by Connor Casimir and intercepted by Reese Dalen, who takes it the other way for a 30-yard pick six as the Raiders rolled in this one 62-0. Haley, what you got?
Well, we got to sit Similar scene over in Olivette, where they are coming off of a big week 2. Cheerleaders are hype, and this Eagles team, man, they were all gas and no brakes. We are in the second, and Jake Miller, he gets the handoff, and he's going to dip and dodge, and he is off. No one is going to bring him down. He's just breaking ankles left and right. The Eagles will get the huge lead with that, 22-0. And this kid had a killer week 2, and week 3 it has been no different. Ramsey Bousseau just can't seem to stay out of the end zone. The Eagles will take this one easy over Stockbridge, 44-8 the final. And hey, Odd, green and white's a great color combo, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, the 9 members of Michigan State's 2022 Hall of Fame class would certainly agree. And there are some monster names in this group, Nick.
Yeah, massive names, Odd. Names like the biggest one of them all was Mr. Draymond Green, who brought a shiny trophy with him. You're going to hear from him next when the Dean Trailways 5th Quarter return.
The Dean Trailways 5th Quarter is sponsored by Dean Trailways of Michigan.
Call it a sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make mid-Michigan a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
Have questions about your accident or injury? You may only need an attorney once in your life, so why not trust the name that has been fighting for their neighbors for over 65 years? Call Abood Law now and speak to an attorney for free. You'll be glad you did.
Your hearing is as unique as your fingerprint. At Advanced Audiology, we conduct diagnostic testing to find the cause of your hearing loss and provide customized solutions that work for you.
Hearing starts here at Advanced Audiology.
How much is Washington spending? Ask Alyssa Slotkin.
It's a lot of money. We've gotten pretty used to throwing out like trillions of dollars.
Slotkin would know. She threw away COVID relief on a luxury resort and golf courses. Now Slotkin's raising taxes, costing everyone, forcing families to pay more.
We've gotten pretty used to throwing out like trillions of dollars.
Slotkin spends, you pay. Don't let Alyssa Slotkin throw away your future. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
At 6 feet 11 inches, what could be bigger than former pro basketball champ John Sally?
This, the Big Spin Instant Game.
And me, the star of the show.
Co-star. The Big Spin from the Michigan Lottery with instant prizes up to $1 million.
And 20 players get a second chance to take the big spin and win up to $2 million on TV.
Hosted by me, John Sally.
Co-hosted John?
The Big Spin Instant Game. It's big and it's back.
Hurry, the next entry deadline is soon.
If your AC just isn't cold enough, it's time to call Vredavogue. Cool down your house with an air conditioner tune-up now and save. For a limited time, get an AC tune-up for just $78. Trust the cooling experts at Vredavogue. Just $78 to keep your system running smoothly and efficiently. And if it's time for a new AC, we're here for you with special financing and professional installation. Vredavogue. We're here when you need us most.
Welcome back to the Dean Trailways 5th Quarter. Hall of Fame induction night for the class of 2022 at MSU was this evening. And with 4-time NBA champion Draymond Green a part of this class, he decided to bring a good buddy of his to East Lansing.
Yeah, it wouldn't be Draymond if he didn't have the Mr. Larry O'Brien trophy in the building.
Yeah, no, the former MSU basketball player waltzed into the Clarabelle Smith Center with quite an entourage. Everyone wanted to get their picture with Day Day on his special day, and rightfully so. This is also a special class. Never in the history of MSU athletics has it inducted more females than males. Longtime MSU women's basketball coach Karen Langland is in this class, along with former volleyball and basketball player Kathy DeBoer. And Day Day knows the greatness he's among with this crew.
I'm honored. I could talk about it for hours, but it's such an honor and a privilege to be here and accepting this award, if you will. But I think more than an award, to enter in such a prestige group, like it doesn't happen every day, and so it's not something I take for granted. And I'm just excited to be a part of this class of 2022.
So as the celebration continues tomorrow, he's going to be on the field at Michigan State. A lot of other former basketball players as well for the Akron game.
Nice.
Haley, you're going to be making your way down to Ann Arbor tomorrow.
Week two,
Yeah.
Squared. Going to be a good one.
Yes. One high school score, too. Detroit Catholic Central defeated DeWitt in overtime, 45-38. Have a great rest of your night, and thanks for being with us.